How does one prove farming of proxies which are undirected? We've seen proxy blocks being used in favour of an individual or to support the position of individuals on certain issues by using proxies to block motions.
How does one prove farming of proxies? In New South Wales or Queensland, they have legislation about proxy farming and voting, and a maximum number of votes that can be held by any one person voting. There is a particular obscure section in this Act that says about the number of votes anyone can hold, but there's nothing that says what the number is. So the short answer is there's no restriction on the number of proxies that a person can collect from owners. If you have a problem with that, then you need to try and gain the sway of the majority or the minority that aren't voting and canvass for their proxy yourself. You just have to play the same game the opposition's playing. It's a lot of politics. You watch Parliament, you watch the news, you see the politicians, try and get the votes for passing things. It's the same thing on a smaller scale. It's always boils down to the numbers. Whoever's got the numbers will win the motion, provided they haven't been unfair, oppressive, unreasonable and discriminatory. And that's one of the guidelines in section 119. That's another section I remembered. That's my favourite section to quote. So there are requirements that the strata company is to have an objective in implementing processes and achieving outcomes, but they can't be unfairly prejudicial or discriminatory against a person or oppressive or unreasonable. And part of that says in subsection 2 of 119, must be aware that a resolution or other conduct may be overturned for failure to meet the objective, despite the fact that it reflects the will of the majority of members of the strata company as expressed through the exercise of their voting powers. So you might have the mass numbers to vote and win by a majority, but if it could be demonstrated that it's unfair, unreasonable, oppressive or discriminatory, then it could be overturned if someone went to the tribunal to push their point that they've been unfairly dealt with.